you doing today? I'm here again with a new video of showing you guys how to repaste and how to clean up your MacBook Pro. And this one is the model is A1278, the model. And we have a few issues with this one. We're gonna replace the power jack right over here, and we're also gonna remove and replace that one. We're gonna clean it up. We're gonna disassemble the whole motherboard. So let's get it started. First thing first, you want to remove the bottom screws. So there are 4 at the bottom side, 4 on the front side, and 1 on each side. So remove all this. So I'm going to fast forward this part. Once you remove the screws at the bottom, you want to pick it up from the bottom of the screen, this side, and lift it up. And as you can see, this one is really dirty. So everything is filled in here, so you gotta clean the bottom cover. So remove all the excess dust which is accumulated right here. Down here we have the batteries and the whole motherboard. Everything is down here. So first thing first, we're gonna disconnect the battery from the board. So what you wanna do, you wanna grab the battery from this end, from this side, and you just want to pull it out, and there's the battery. So that's how you disconnect the battery. If you want to remove the battery, there's only a few screws holding it in the front side. There's one right there and one right there, and then you can just easily remove the battery. These two, and it's just gonna slide out. This one is almost broken. So next, we want to remove the motherboard. Before we remove the motherboard, we're going to disconnect all the flex cable. Starting from this side, the hard drive, the CD-ROM. I'm thinking this is the backlight or the mouse track. This is mouse pad, and there's a keyboard ribbon. For the ribbon cable, to remove this one, you need a few tweezers. So what you want to do, you want to lift up this side up. Right there. So you want to lift this plastic right at the end, a 90-degree angle. This one over here. And then you want to slide the flex cable towards the battery. Be gentle. Just like that. Right. Next, you want to disconnect this cable here. Remove the tape right there. Remove the cushion. And now this one you just want to pull out from the sides, from this end here. Just slide it. I don't recommend you guys yank the cable. That will cause damage to the pins on the soldering joints on the cables. So use the corners to lift up. And disconnect this other cable. Lift up this one. This one, it just comes up. You don't have to pull out. You just pull it up towards the ceiling. And after that, you want to disconnect the fan. Just same thing, just lift up. And then right on this side where we disconnected the battery, there is this cable for the sensor, for the battery sensor. You want to disconnect that one. And the last one is going to be the flex cable for the screen, which is on the top right corner. So you want to lift this secure lock. This is just a hinge lock. You want to lift it up, and you want to pull it towards the power jack. Slide it towards the power jack slowly, and there we go. Next, we're gonna start unscrewing the motherboard. I'm gonna put in the description where you can get the screwdriver for these ones. So we're gonna start. Also, there's a ribbon cable right here. There's a tape over it. This is the backlight. Lift this one up, and the same way that you remove the keyboard is the same one for here. Alright, we're going to start removing these 2 screws at the bottom. Next, we're going to disconnect the screw right here by the fan, and the 3 screws that holds the fan in place, and the one right on top here. Also remove the 2 screws that hold the power jack, and there's one right in the corner here, right under the cable. One right here, and the last one, it's right on this side by the battery cable. Alright, once you remove that, you also have to remove this one over here. This one holds this metal thing here, and this one holds the cover on the bottom. So disconnect this one and remove this piece of metal. Alright, next we're gonna remove the fan. There's your fan. Okay. You have to go clean it up nicely with a can of air or just with a toothbrush. You can just go ahead and clean this one up. Next, you're gonna grab the motherboard from this end and lift up slowly. There is some adhesive under the heatsink. Just go ahead and lift it up. Be gentle and wiggle it around. It's gonna just come out. Very easy. And you're gonna lift up towards the corner this side, and at the bottom you're gonna see a few connectors down there. Let me see if I can show you guys in the position. So you're gonna have to remove this tape right here. And this one over here. Remove that cable. Also remove this one. And lift up the speaker. There's a tiny adhesive under the speaker. Just lift up. And then just pull out the jack right there. And you should be easy the rest. So there is a motherboard. This is a very filthy motherboard. Alright, so now what we're gonna do here, we have the power jack. We're gonna replace this power jack. So we're just gonna pull this power jack cable from there, and we're gonna put the new one, which is right here. I'm gonna put in a description video where you can get these ones. But before we do that, we wanna remove the whole heatsink from the GPU. The motherboard, and we're gonna clean it up. So we're gonna remove 1, 2, 3, 4 screws right there. Also, these heat sinks are way better than the new MacBook Pros that they came out. These ones, they have a really solid heat sink right here with a base, and they have a screw with a spring right on them. These springs are hard springs, so it's better than having this type of heat sink than having the one that actually comes in with a new MacBook Pro, which there's a flimsy copper metal right there, which is supposed to act like a spring, but it doesn't. So I'd rather get these ones than the other one. Once you remove the screws, you want to go ahead and remove the heatsink. Then we have your GPU and your CPU. You're going to remove the RAMs. To remove the RAMs, you have to remove them from this end. I'm going to lift it up once, pull it out, 45-degree angle. Same thing with this one, bottom side. Alright, we're going to go ahead and clean up with a toothbrush. I'm going to wash this in an ultrasonic tank for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll be back. And also we're going to clean up the heatsink and clean up the thermal paste on the heatsink. Alright, now I already washed up and cleaned up the motherboard. We cleaned up the heatsink. The heatsink is nice and cleaned. And we will remove the old thermal paste. So what you're going to do right now, you're going to add the new thermal paste on both CPU and GPU. Before we do that, we're going to grab alcohol. We're going to clean up the CPU top and the GPU top. Just rub it off, make sure there's no more dust, any fingerprint, any grease right on top of this no. So once you clean up those, grab your thermal paste. I use an Arctic Silver 5 thermal paste. Alright, now that we put the thermal paste right on top, you're gonna put the heatsink, align the heatsink, or you don't want to put it and pick it up again. Once you put the heatsink down, you don't want to lift it up. And you're gonna put the screws for it. You start from the corner side. Alright, now that we have the heatsink in there, one of the last step is grab the power jack, the new one or the old one. If the old one is already fixed, I already fixed the old one. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to open it and put the new one in. So put the jack in place. And make sure you do the same thing the way you picked up. And before we do that, I'm just gonna put the rams in. Place one of the rams in. The second one. The jack has to go right underneath. Just like that. And now you're gonna connect the cable. Once you have the cables in, you want to put down the I/O side down first. Make sure the battery cable is not in the way. This end has to go right underneath here. Just like that. Pull out all the cables from this side. And there we go. Double check, make sure everything is in place. I'm gonna put one screw right there and one screw right at the other end. We're gonna put the screws for the power jack. We're gonna connect the cable for that one. We're gonna grab the fan, put the fan in place, plug in the fan. We're not gonna plug in the hard drive or anything like that, or none of this, because we're just gonna run a test to make sure everything is turning on and working. So we're gonna disconnect everything, and I'm gonna plug in. I see a green light there. There's a green light, but there is no power going through the board. I'm gonna plug in the battery to make sure it's charging. So the voltage is going and it's charging, but it just turns red. And now I'm gonna try with a different charger. We got a green light and it is charging. The fan is still not spinning. So we do have an issue there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up the board and I'm gonna check the board and see if what's wrong with the board, because it is charging and the charge light goes in, the voltage, it does consume the voltage and the ampere. So you have to check the CPU and the GPU and the voltage controller. I just found out what was the problem with this board. The voltage that it is consuming, it was like about what 16 volt, but it was not pulling any ampere. It was pulling about 0.03 amps, which was not enough. I mean, there's a rail that had no power, and on both sides of the board, right under this corner where the power jack connects, there's this squares right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. This one's right here. It has a 1, 2, 3, 4 legs on one side, and there's one grounded right here, one ground. The ground is supposed to be 16 volt, and the positive, each one of these, they have to be 16 volt too. And this one is just pretty much is a diode. There's a few diodes on this board, one in here and one on the other side of the board. The one on the other side, it was giving 16 volt exactly on every leg. On this one, there was a 16 volt missing. It was about 6 volt on one of the legs. And also, if you can see, there's another diode right by the battery connector is. Because what it does, it gives a 16 volt. It gives 16 volt to every part of the board. That way you won't stress the component. There are about like 3 diodes. These are like not a single diode, they're like a 4 diode in one type. So what I did, I found a donor board and I replaced this diode with a better one. So I'm getting a 16 volt on every leg on the corner. And just fixing this one, replacing it, and now it boots up with no problem. So it's good to keep your old motherboard, so if you want to replace them. There you go. And we got the fan spinning, so everything is okay. So one simple thing right there can solve your problem. And if you don't have this, if you don't have a spare motherboard, and if you don't know how to get one, you can actually do that manually. If you have a short 16 volt on one leg, you can just shorten the legs, take it from the other one. I do not recommend it too much, but it's a pass, you can just get away with it. Or just remove this one and replace 4 separate small diodes in there instead. So let's see if we get to the screen. So I'm gonna power it up. So if you guys have any question or any problem, and don't forget to click like and subscribe and ask me in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Alright guys, now what we're gonna do, I just powered it off. We're gonna put the top side, and that should be all for today. And again, thank you for your time and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm just gonna finish up putting the bottom plate.